the reason why cylinder 4 has 0 compression. Oh my goodness! Wow, look at that!
Alright, good morning from Okinawa, Japan, home of OkiSubies. This is part 2 of the Blown Bugeye series. And so we have the engine, just to recap, an engine that came out of a Bugeye that we bought from auction. Now that the engine is removed, we're going to send it down, pack it up, prepare it, and send it down to our engine department where they're going to tear it apart and find out the issue. So yeah, let's prepare it and pack it up.
So we received the engine over at the engine department here at OkiSubies, and we're gonna go ahead and first drain the oil, and we're gonna tear it apart, and we're gonna figure out what is wrong with cylinder 4. Stick around. Alright, so to tear apart the engine, what we're going to do first is we're going to drain the oil. After we drain the oil, we're going to take the timing cover off, pull apart the timing assembly, and then we will remove the manifold. We're mainly concerned with pulling off this side first, just to kind of get a diagnosis, just to see what is actually going on with cylinder 4. Do we continue to break it down because we need to do a full rebuild? Is it going to be an easier fix like a valve, or do we just need to replace the engine? So main thing is just finding out what is wrong with cylinder 4 and why is it 0 compression. So first things first, let's go ahead and remove the 17 mil nut on the bottom here. As that's draining, we'll go ahead and remove, actually let's do the manifold first. I'm gonna pull off the manifold. So to pull off the manifold here, the whole intake manifold, you pull off the reservoir, you'll unplug all the sensors, the turbo inlet there, a couple of the coolant lines that go from the throttle body to the actual backside. If you see here, these guys go here, then this one here will go to the side. Pull off a couple of things that are just gonna get in the way. You're really just kind of doing it slowly, even if it's your first time. Really, as long as you are checking it as you go and make sure that you're not pulling anything. More importantly, the sensors. You don't want to like break off the sensors in pieces or the connectors. 9 times out of 10 they break anyways, but you got the crank sensor, oil pressure. Oh, it didn't break. Cool. That's your water temp sensor right here. And then you have on the back side here, you have more cam sensors, and this is your cam position sensor for your AVCS. And then if you notice, dual AVCS setup will have those on the bottom too. If it's single AVCS, you just have this back one. You have a knock sensor right here. You could pull the knock sensor off from the engine. Right now I'm gonna just disconnect it from here. AVCS solenoid I need to get on the other side. And the valve cover gasket hoses, at least this one right here. This metal piece in between these two hoses is connected to this bracket, and then this hose is connected to the valve cover. You're pulling this whole manifold off, so it's good to take that off there. And then these ones right here, if you just pull on them, right, you should replace the hoses anyways, but if you're just doing like basic maintenance, it's kind of hard, right? You can either pull it up from the top right there, or you can spin them off, like twist them, and you can hear them click. Again, you're pulling the manifold off, so anything that's going to get in the way of the manifold coming off, this obviously is not going to fit through this hole. So what you want to do, just give it that twist, pop it off. Good to go there. Sure. You hear that? Sounds like there's something inside the oil pan. valve cover off. This actually even looks like the valve covers are pretty new. All right, so now that we got the cams off, we're gonna go ahead and pull apart the heads. Try to figure out what's going on. Welcome to Okinawa, Japan. Okay, now we got those loose. And now, for the answer, the reason why cylinder 4 has 0 compression. Cha-chang. Dang! Oh my goodness! Wow, look at that! Both of the valves are broken off. That is catastrophic failure right there, 101. If you look on this side, these are supposed to be on the end of this right here. I've never seen it that bad. Both of these are supposed to be spinning. But as you can see, just one is spinning. So without the head gasket, some of you may have already seen it. So you have open deck and closed deck, semi-closed deck. So the semi-closed deck on the EJ207 is very similar to the EJ 2.5 liters. You have these extra pieces here that are supporting the cylinder, and that's why it's a semi-closed deck. When you close deck it, you're closing a majority of it except for just the needed coolant galleries or ports to get to the heads. And you can see that the walls are also thicker because it's a 2.0 liter versus the 2.5 liter, where it's actually bored out to like, what is it, 99 versus lower like 92. We could roll some dice. Okay, so now that we know that's catastrophic, the rod is bad. Looking further, the heads have a lot of scoring. I didn't check it earlier as I was pulling it apart, but yeah, this is a pretty bad scoring. There's a couple marks on the cams that you can actually feel with your fingernail. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to remove the oil pan. Wow, I can hear all kinds of chunks in there. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at that. That's that noise that we were hearing. That's actually a bolt to the rod. But look at how bad it is. You see this right here? That is actually not supposed to look like that. This part is supposed to be a little bit more flat. The bolt is broken off and you can see a part of the block on that end right there. This is like the worst I've seen on the EJ207. Look at that. What most likely happened, as we see here, I think the bolts to the rod failed. And then the piston once went up, hit the valves, came down and just started to cause havoc. The rod is still, it seems, attached to the piston, and it bent and stuck itself in there. Something failed here. It got worse because that was clearly cramped within, like it was like scissored into, as you saw, this whole area. I had to like wiggle the crank, going in and out to try to get it all out. There's still a bunch of gunk in there, a bunch of gunk in the oil pan, so we'll have to get a replacement motor for it. Stay tuned now for part 3, because we are going to figure out what motor we're going to put in this bad boy. Thanks for watching.